Okay, today's video is a good one. To kick things off, I've got a question. Are you a fan of the JOOLA Pro 4? Comment down below if you are, and I hope to see some comments because I know there are a lot of people out there that love this line from JOOLA, because I can't go to an open play out here in Los Angeles without seeing probably 1 out of 4 players with one of these paddles in their hands. So if your paddle of choice is a Pro 4, you're definitely not alone. In fact, I've done a huge video on this line for anyone curious, and for me personally, I actually thought about maining the Agassi Pro 4 in 14mm earlier this year. However, the issue I have with the Pro 4 paddles is twofold. One, a Pro 4 runs over $300 out here in Los Angeles after taxes and fees when you order from JOOLA's site. And right now, JOOLA isn't utilizing discount codes, so that's pretty pricey. Second, JOOLA has yet to release a hybrid version of the Pro 4, and that's my preferred shape. JOOLA, what's going on? Even Carbon's finally embraced the hybrid form factor. And if these two things bother you as well, I've got some good news. This is the Fury, a new paddle from a company called Thrive, and it's got a lot of the same DNA as the Pro 4, but in a fully hybrid shape. Super similar to the popular J2 paddles from Honolulu, the OG double black diamond from 6.0, as well as the similarly iconic flash shape from Vatic. But the Fury also has a few surprises in its compact package, and we're going to get into all that in a bit. But first, I wanted to let you know Thrive is letting me give one of these babies away for free. However, that's not all. There's more to today's giveaway than a free paddle. One of my favorite pickleball accessory companies called Flickweight will be supplying the raffle winner with a few flick handle weights, as well as a top secret new product that I don't even have the details on. So this giveaway is definitely a special one, and you'll want to stick around until the end of the video to see how to enter. But if you want to get a head start, you can go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, if you really want to stay on top of all the latest when it comes to pickleball gear news and updates, including some of the stranger stuff a lot of the other reviewers aren't talking about, you should definitely check out and subscribe to my podcast, Is This a Pickleball Podcast with Matthew K. Pickleball. And you should know, my co-host Wilson told me if we don't get some more subscribers, he's going to make me grow a beard just like Justin over on Pursuits Pod. I guess Wilson thinks beards get clicks. Unfortunately though, this face isn't made for a beard. So for no other reason than to help me preserve my questionably youthful appearance, you should definitely check out what we're doing. You can catch all the latest episodes here on YouTube as well as on all the major podcast platforms. And now let's talk Thrive Fury specs and paddle design really quickly. Okay, first off, Thrive advertises this paddle's core as being 15.5 millimeters. I did compare the Fury to the Honolulu J2H Plus, which is a 16mm core paddle that we'll be talking about more in a bit, and it and the Fury look to be the same thickness to me. However, some of Thrive's other paddles are advertised as 16mm cores, so I'm presuming this one must be a bit different. That being said, it is definitely subtle to the naked eye with how they've done their edge guard. And I'm not about to rip this thing open to check because I want to keep playing with it. As for the actual core build and design, the Fury is Gen 3 construction with a polypropylene honeycomb core with foam enhancements and a diving board configuration. So this design is very similar to the JOOLA Pro 4s. However, the Fury's face layup consists of 3 layers. 2 layers of carbon fiber with a middle layer of fiberglass, as well as internal weighting at the taper of the neck. This added weight plus this specific face layup is what most differentiates it from JOOLA's Gen 3 line, aside from the shape. And we'll talk all about these differences and how they impact performance soon. As for the Fury's dimensions, it's 16.3 inches long with a 7.5 to 7.7 inch taper, so very much like 6.0's original double black diamond silhouette. It also has a 5.5 inch handle with a 4.25 inch circumference grip with a static weight range of 7.9 to 8.1 ounces. Lastly, one feature that separates Thrive from other paddle brands is that you can select your paddle's swing weight at the time of purchase. For the Fury, you can choose 111, 112, or 113. And if you don't know much about swing weight, a higher number typically means you can expect to get more power on your swings, while a lower number generally means faster hand speed. As for the average twist weight, Thrive is aiming for a 6.3 to 6.57 range for this paddle. As for price, the Fury comes in at $180 after promo code Matthew K knocks off 10%. And this is taking into account and including all fees like taxes and shipping. Unlike with JOOLA, while JOOLA's Pro 4 paddles have a sticker price of $280, my cart adds taxes and fees out here in California, making the final price over $300. And once again, JOOLA does not offer discount codes on their Pro 4 line. Finally, the Fury has a 6-month warranty and is USAP PB Core 43 certified, so very much future-proof for tournament play. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's talk performance. First off, I should say at the very top that I think Thrive knocked this release out of the park. They saw a gap in the market for a hybrid Gen 3 paddle and created their own version that fits super nicely into the Pro 4 family. A sort of JOOLA stepchild, if you will. That being said, the Fury isn't the only Gen 3 hybrid on the market. I've already done a big overview of all of Honolulu's next-gen paddles, which now includes the J2H Plus, a real sleeper in Honolulu's lineup that has been completely overlooked as it was released at the same time as Honolulu's NF and FC Plus paddles. But the J2H is built just like the much talked about J2K Plus and J2TI Plus, but with a zippier layup consisting of carbon fiber and fiberglass. So on paper, it shares a lot of similarities with the Fury. However, the J2H Plus's layer of fiberglass is on top of 2 layers of carbon fiber, while the Fury's layer of fiberglass is sandwiched in the middle of its 2 layers of carbon fiber. This helps explain why the Fury has much more aggressive pop than the J2H Plus. The ball has to penetrate the Fury's first layer of carbon fiber before hitting that stiff middle layer of fiberglass at a lower speed. Whereas with the J2H Plus, the ball touches the fiberglass layer as soon as it makes contact with the paddle head when it's at its highest velocity. So the J2H Plus has less of that stiff feeling backboard effect compared to the Fury, as the ball is better able to punch through the J2H Plus's top layer fiberglass at that higher speed compared to the Fury, where the ball goes through a layer of carbon fiber and slows down before hitting that middle layer of fiberglass. So with the Fury, the ball hits that rigid fiberglass backboard at a slower pace, making it feel and play stiffer, in my opinion. At least that's what I think is going on. In fact, on soft hits, I'd say the J2H Plus is actually pretty comparable, or maybe even a tad softer in feel compared to the JOOLA Pro 4s, at least pop-wise, even with that addition of fiberglass, which will make more sense in a moment. However, the Fury has dramatically more pop than the J2H Plus, as well as more pop than the Pro 4 line. But I don't think the face layup and fiberglass positioning is the full story, especially when accounting for the differences between the Fury and the J2H Plus, which are, once again, both Gen 3 hybrids. I think their differing core designs are playing a big role as well. And while both of these paddles are Gen 3, the Fury's core is in a diving board configuration with the core material running down through the handle, just like the Pro 4 paddles. That differs from the J2H Plus's floating core design, which has a foam ring entirely encircling its polypropylene honeycomb. In my experience, floating core Gen 3 paddles typically pocket the ball more like traditional Gen 2 paddles, while the diving board designs tend to see balls dwell longer and have more propulsion as they fly off the head, closer to how strings function on a tennis racket. So while the Fury and the J2H Plus are both Gen 3 hybrids, I'd say the Fury is designed to be much more aggressive. To put it simply and summarize it a bit, the Fury plays like a poppier Pro 4 with comparable power but in a hybrid shape, while the Honolulu J2H Plus plays like a muted, slightly more controllable Pro 4, but in a hybrid shape. But I should emphasize the J2H Plus still has a very good amount of power on activated hits. And this extra pop with the Fury can actually be heard when you strike the ball with a good amount of force. Some folks might even say it has a hollow sound on harder hits. And I think this sound might have to do with Thrive adding some weight on the interior of the paddle down here on the throat. And this kind of customization companies are starting to do is something I really appreciate, especially when it's done beneath the edge guard. I'm looking at you, Selkirk. While companies like paddletek have been doing this for a long time and are still doing it with their latest release with the GTOC that I just reviewed, other companies are getting in on this kind of pre-customization, which I'm really liking. That being said, even with this weight pre-installed at the throat, I found the Fury to be just a tad too poppy for me. My dinks were landing close to the kitchen line, so I wanted to customize it a bit to make it a little easier to control. So I ended up muting the pop some by adding 3 grams of Bodhi's tungsten here at the taper. That did the job well enough. However, I noticed it felt a little heavy in my hands after that. So I then added Flickweight's lightest handle weight option, 3 grams, and that shifted the balance point and made it feel lighter in the hands and closer to what I was used to with the J2H Plus, which I typically play stock. Also, promo code MatthewK works with both Bodhi and Flickweight, and I highly recommend grabbing some of their weights to tune this or any other paddle. And even though Thrive added some internal weighting, this specific setup really helped ensure I got what I wanted from a hybrid, fast hands at the kitchen. After that bit of customization, I really found myself enjoying the Fury and having a hard time putting it back in my bag. It's just super unique and a lot of fun. But does all this mean it's the right paddle for you? Should you grab one? What's my recommendation? To be honest, I think this paddle with a little customization will suit lots of folks. If you're an aggressive player that wanted a Pro 4 for that style of play, but wanted it in a hybrid form factor, this is it. If you're someone that wants a Gen 3 hybrid on a budget and the Honolulu J2H Plus and its more muted pop aren't a good fit, this $180 paddle after promo code MatthewK is the answer. Also, if you're a player that's super concerned about receiving a paddle with a specific swing weight, Thrive is pretty much the only company that lets you choose the swing weight of the specific unit you're purchasing super easily. So that would definitely be a value add if you're that kind of player. Finally, if shape doesn't matter, but you want a paddle that plays like a Pro 4, but that's just a lot cheaper, the Fury is a great choice, especially if you're an aggressive player. Now, one thing to note though is that Thrive's warranty is only 6 months, which is actually the same as JOOLA Pro 4's paddles. However, because the Pro 4s are in JOOLA's NFC chip category of gear, you can utilize their app to extend their warranty to 1 year. However, that registration has to be done within 14 days of purchase and is not available for extension after that date. This is according to JOOLA's site. And I really wonder how many folks found out they needed to register their Pro 4 on month 7. Who's done a warranty with JOOLA? Comment down below. I'm curious to hear how it went. But yes, JOOLA does have a better warranty than Thrive if you jump through some extra hoops. But since JOOLA's price tag does not include taxes and fees on their site, at least out here in California, like Thrive's does, is that extra peace of mind worth an additional $100+? You'll have to answer that for yourself, but for me, I'd probably say no. But I am definitely biased being a hybrid lover first. And as a little aside, JOOLA, if you're watching, look at the current marketplace. It's changed since your Pro 4 launch. You're not the only Gen 3 paddle available anymore. I know Ben Johns must cost a lot to keep happy, but come on, bring discount codes back and make it a little easier for paddle addicts that do their research to feel good about picking a JOOLA paddle. Even Franklin is doing codes now. I think the extra sales will make up for the pricing change, but that's just my 2 cents and no discount code is needed for that. As for the Fury, I think it's a great paddle at a competitive price that's definitely worth considering. And that's really all I've got. If you watch until the end, definitely leave a comment and let me know what you think about Thrive and what they're doing. Do you have one of their paddles? Would you consider getting one? And before we talk about today's giveaway, I wanted to also let you know there's another giveaway on the channel for one of Carbon's brand new True Foam Genesis 4 paddles in my recent review of that release. If you haven't checked that video out, you definitely should, and be sure to enter that giveaway because that is one fun paddle. As for today's raffle, I'm super pumped to share that Thrive is letting me give one of these babies away for free. But as I said at the top of the video, that's not all we're giving away. Flickweight, the company behind the handle weight I used to customize this paddle, is letting me give some of their Flick handle weights away, as well as their brand new product, which is top secret at the moment, to today's winner. So this raffle is definitely one that's worth entering. All you need to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment how much weight you typically add to your paddle, and then fill out the Google form in the description so I have a way to contact you if you win. And that's it. I'll run the raffle in about a month, so be on the lookout for an email. Good luck. Finally, if you found this video helpful, please consider using promo code MatthewK on your next pickleball gear purchase to help support the channel. I've got a lot of the popular paddle brands listed below, and my master list has even more. I'll be sure to leave a link to Thrive and Flickweight sites at the very top. promo code MatthewK will work with both of them. You can also support the channel by purchasing some of the other cool pickleball gear I've been testing out by using the links and codes in the video description below. I also have a link to my favorite pickleball gear you can get on Amazon down there as well, and that's got some really cool hidden gems you wouldn't expect. And then of course, hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and slamming that notification bell all go a long way to helping me out as well. Thank you so much for the support. But most importantly, I hope you get to pickle soon, and just don't forget, it's about having fun.